I'm back, and here is part 2. Birds were quiet just a second ago. So what I want to talk about here is more into what I was talking about in part 1, and that is, it's basically how the world sees us, and mental illness and disorders and disabilities, almost the same thing. So what I want to talk about, I want to say a few of the symptoms of Asperger's. There's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that 9 or 10? Anyway, there's a few. I think there's 9. Thing is, when I wrote them down and read them again, I realized that most of them are quite similar, and it's basically just all social and emotional things. Like, we have problems with that. Like, one of them is lack of social awareness, and that is very, very vague, because that's basically the whole disorder. So then they do go more into detail in the other ones, but just like, it's all basically social and emotional, which is basically everything the world is today. And that's basically why we suffer a lot, is because they don't know how to do anything to help us, like people with Asperger's. And there are so many people that are diagnosed with Asperger's, and a lot of them also just go undiagnosed because they just don't get the proper help, and people just don't often point it out, and they just sometimes go their whole life thinking that there's something that's wrong, but they don't know what it is. And thing is, I've gone through a lot of things, like friends mostly, like I don't think it was not a lot of them were due to Asperger's, but I have lost a lot of friends in my life. It's probably like everyone else. And basically, maybe some of them were Asperger's, maybe some not. I lost a lot before I was diagnosed, so I'm not really sure. And basically, the world sometimes just doesn't know how to help us, and especially in middle school with my ADD, I thought I was just really bad at test taking and just writing down things and tests especially. But the thing is, I just wasn't given more time with it, because I knew I had ADD at the time in middle school, but I just didn't know that I needed a little bit more help, especially in that area. I did get some in high school where I was able to get more time with tests, and that helped a lot because I was actually able to finish it. Because with ADD, you get distracted very easily, even if I'm in the middle of writing a sentence and then I just forget what I was writing. Like right in the middle of it. That's happened a lot. So I was sometimes not even able to finish it, like tests in middle school and before that. And yeah. And basically a few of these is just basically difficulty making friendships and keeping them, lack of facial expressions, aren't able to pick up on nonverbal cues, or communications, basically the way the person's speaking, lack of use or comprehension of gestures, basically all just the same thing. A lack of interest in socializing and making friends. That is something that is really big, because I was always interested in making a friend or two, but not a lot more, because I've always been one of the small circle kind of people. I'm also an introvert. Basically, I was always interested in socializing and making friends, but I just didn't know how. The thing about that is, basically on TV, they do so many, there's a few people like Sheldon Cooper who they put as a character on TV, and they put a bunch of these things and they just bring it to the max. Like all these symptoms, like they just go bring it to the roof, they go all out. And the thing is, they just put it as very high, like not mild. So they just put it to the max, and that's what people think that people with Asperger's are like. And if it's mild, they just go unnoticed. That's something that's also a problem, because there's people with like very mild, like me. But also the thing about that is I don't think that it's mild. Like, I don't feel mild. Like, I have mild Asperger's or ADD. Like, I have it, and how many symptoms I show is basically what I have. Because people, like, these are just like basic things, and people show different symptoms. And that's, I think, also another problem with Asperger's, because if you, like, sometimes they put, like, say, like, if you experience this many, you have it, or if you experience, like, only a couple, you might have this, or something like that, or experience this many, you don't have it. Like, you kind of have to see a very good professional that, like, has studied a lot in that field, and they are getting better at it, because with ADD, if you get distracted a lot more than usual, then chances are you more than likely have it. Especially with when you're a kid, though, you get distracted easily, so it can be misread as ADD instead of just being a kid. Yeah, like, and my whole family basically has ADD, so they kind of knew that I might just have it. I got very lucky in that, because a lot of people go undiagnosed and they just think that there's a problem with them, and they just can't put a name to it. So I just want to talk about that, and I know it's not the world's problem, like, with that, because they just don't know what to do to help, because they've basically, like I said, physical disability, they can see it, and with us, they can't see it. With the mental disability, like, if it's written on our foreheads, like, then they would probably be able to know, but they also don't, because they don't know, like, what we need help with unless we tell them. Which, yes, it can get very annoying sometimes when you have to explain it over and over again. But I guess it is the way it is, and the world changes. Like, with physical disabilities, with myoma, she had to go through a lot of. She spent like half of her childhood in a hospital, and basically in the 60s, they just wanted her to basically just look normal, and we've changed about that, because we actually know how to help physical disabilities now, and now I guess they're more studying on mental disabilities now. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, and yeah, I just want to talk about depression. Did I talk about that? Yeah, I did. So for that, yeah, I just want to talk about that, put it out there, and if you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe, and if you have any ideas also about other things you wanted me to talk about, I know I say this a lot, but there was one who said a suggestion, and I talked about it, and so yeah. So if you want to leave a comment below, and thank you for watching.